And good morning to you. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. You want quiet? Try stirring coffee with chopsticks in a wooden cup. You don't know what quiet is. Did you ever know somebody who they go into another relationship and you say to yourself, here we go again? Do you have friends or family like that, the here we go again types? And they don't want to listen to you? Especially if it's a pattern that you've seen. And I'm big for saying the past is not the best predictor of the future. But it's also like one of the laws of physics. An object in motion tends to stay in that same motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And unless a man and women are acted upon by an outside force, the behavior will remain the same. They're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. It doesn't matter what their socioeconomic status is. It doesn't matter how successful the man is. It doesn't matter. I know very successful businessmen, making a ton of money. I'm talking, they've got the Ferraris, they've got the big house, they got the condo in the high-rise building in the nice sunny states. And it's a revolving door of heartbreak over and over and over. And then they just end up settling. I've seen that more times than I can count. I've actually lost track of how many times I've watched people's hearts get broken over stuff like this. Oh, but first coffee. First coffee. I just felt like using a wooden coffee cup. I got one a couple years ago for some odd reason. I don't even know what wood it's made from, but it holds the heat, and the wood's not expanding. It's handling the moisture and the heat quite well. I'm probably just going to end up using it for a scoop for like pet food or something. I don't know, but it's interesting. I just wanted a wooden cup, and I'm not going to put a link for it down below. Some people think that's my middle name, George. I'm going to put a link for that down below, Bruno. Contrary to popular belief, that is not my middle name. Let's get started. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, just kidding. Remember that song by Wham? Why is that playing all the time? Like, for those of you that are in the Western world right now, you put on any station and that is playing along with all like the silver bells and jingle bells and here comes Santa Claus, and I'm hearing Wham talk about this dude's Christmas, of how heartbreaking it was. Actually, let's go to those lyrics. Okay, that's Last Christmas by Wham. Written by George Michael. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas I gave, oh, and then he says that twice. Once bitten and twice shy, I keep my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year. It doesn't surprise me. Merry Christmas. I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying I love you. I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been. But if you kissed me now, I'd know you'd fool me again. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Oh my God, how pathetic. Do you ever notice, like, once you're woke, once you wake up a little bit, that you can't even listen to some of the old music anymore because you're like, God, this is such pussified music. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh my Lord. Coffee so hot. Finish the sentence. And this is the old guy version of the classic Ed Lattimore phrase. Ed is a new friend of mine. Coffee so hot you win a lawsuit against McDonald's. I don't think I'm doing this right. Coffee so hot it has 1 million Instagram followers. Coffee so hot you ignore the red flags. Coffee so hot even the girls swipe right. Coffee so hot I asked it for a date. Coffee so hot it distracts your focus when you drink it. They call it a focus trap. Coffee so hot it melts your heart like a romance novel cover. Coffee so hot had to smack a thought. Coffee so hot it makes even AJA Cortez thirsty. Coffee so hot 13 guys try to drink it at once. Coffee so hot not even the sketchy pawn shop wants it. Coffee so hot my Playboy's bunny has to tell us how to deal with it. That's a good one. Coffee so hot it'll make your erection last longer than 4 hours and you'll have to seek medical attention. Oh, and there are some that I don't even want to say. Coffee so hot, I forgot I was standing in an open-air wooden train station 45 miles outside of Moscow. Dang, dude, that's cool. And that came from my tweet that said, make coffee hot again. Screw 160 degrees, you pussies. If it's too hot, you wait a minute or two before drinking it. Do you want me to put it into a baby bottle for you too? And I said that because I had the hottest, most beautiful damn cup of coffee at a Greek diner the other day. 0 craps were given. I'm really trying to cut down on the language. And to just notice that I made an effort today. Let me correct myself. I am a traditional conservative in mostly everything in my life, except my personal intergender relationships. Why is that? When everything that you were taught about money, career, education, relationships, and nutrition was wrong, and it came down to change or die, you change. Some people, in effect, choose to die or die by default. I want you to live by design, not die by default. Does that make sense to you? Creative flow leads to cash flow. Keep the creativity going. How do you do that? Especially if you're working a job and you get home from the job and you're too tired to read, you're too tired to watch interesting content. Make time. Get up an hour earlier, or stay up an hour later. There's 2 hours right there. That's 14 hours a week that you can use for self-improvement. Think bigger than your critics. Your haters are stuck, and I said this yesterday, while you are light and free. So super important. I said this maybe about 1.5 years ago. Your haters are nothing but people. They're nothing but people that want what you have and have no idea how to get it. So they are the crabs in a bucket trying to pull you down. Don't let people pull you down. Don't make dumbass decisions. Someone giving you constructive criticism is not like, you can't say that, you know how some people say, well, you're always putting me down, you're always criticizing me. Sometimes, let me tell you this. There were times that my dad would say stuff to me that I thought he was just being critical and putting me down. He didn't know how to express care and concern is not a universal skill. Okay? Some people do care about you. They just don't know how to communicate it, and it sounds like criticism to you. It sounds like they're putting you down. They just don't know how to encapsulate it. They don't have the words for it. Especially like when you hear the word always and never in a sentence. Very definitive words. You always do this or you never do that. Hard words to hear. Very hard words to hear. My take on sleep number beds, and this will probably be part of my podcast as well. What the heck is a sleep partner? So I'm listening to talk radio, like I do many times if I'm driving, and I hear a Select Comfort commercial, the one they call the sleep number bed. And then I hear the host reading the script that was thrust upon him, and I don't think this was his language, actually it was Bill Bennett at the time. You can have one level of firmness, and your sleeping partner can have another. And the first thing that went through my head was, sleeping partner? What the heck is a sleeping partner? I could be wrong, but that might be the conservative radio clean way of saying a guy or a gal pal. Because when those sleep number beds first came out, they used to say your husband or your wife, and then they backed away from that. My God, that sounds a little too much, like traditional values. But we've come a long way from Ricky and Lucy having separate beds, haven't we? If that very technology and radio ad were done in the 60s, the term would be wife or spouse. But we're way past that prudish era. We are way past the sexual revolution. Now it's just out there with no excuse. The post-sexual revolution. The friends with benefits era. When I say friends with benefits, I'm not talking about medical and dental benefits and tuition reimbursement and 401ks. That's not the kind of benefit. Now, what if friends with benefits actually came with that? What if actually that's what somebody wanted? When I say I want a friends with benefits relationship, I want a woman that comes with medical, dental, tuition reimbursement, and a 401k. That would be kind of funny. I do remember when the term partner was being used. That referred to someone. It was implied that you were living with or dating or shacking up with on occasion. Everybody knew it. Intimacy was probably part of it, but there was also some implied commitment somehow, some way. God forbid you have just a plain old mattress. You need Select Comfort so your sleeping partner can have a good night's sleep too. God forbid your sleeping partner comes over and sees that their 35 sleep number on their side of the bed is now a 42. Things could get really hairy. Forget about trying to hide the toothbrush, like I used to do. Comb the blonde hair out of the brunette's brush, like I used to do. And quickly hide that stray garment, like I used to do when I was a single crazy guy. Normal, single, crazy guy. Whatever happened to the good old days of non-commitment and how easy it was to keep things organized? Now the classic philanderer and playboy has to remember what partner has what number on the Sleep Number bed. I could just picture a partner saying, when I left on Sunday morning, my side of the bed was a 35. Now it's a 42. Who was here? Who was sleeping on my side of the bed? Who is she? Who is she? I want to know right now. Honey, there was a slow leak in the bed. A leak that went up! You're a liar! Now you have to remember the number of your Saturday sleep partner and make sure that your Wednesday sleep partner doesn't see their number. Technology makes things so difficult these days, doesn't it? Reason number 5,472 for celibacy. That was from my blog from 10 years ago. I think I'm going to start reading some of these and kind of bringing them back. They are still, they're anachronistic in the sense that it's taking you back in time and having pictures of things from that era. What is it now? What is it going to be now? Hey, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your coffee. There's a lot of videos coming real soon. I turned another year older recently. Do I feel older? Not at all. I feel strong, flexible. I sleep well. I've got game. No lack of love or women attracted to me. Still enjoy a fairly good chase, but don't have to as much, because when you are the best version of yourself at whatever age you are, when you're the best version of yourself, people are attracted to you. And this is not the woo-woo law of attraction thing. What this is about is you being the best version of yourself. Does that mean you need to take another 10 pounds off? 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 70 pounds? Does that mean you need to eat better? You know, when you eat better and you start looking better, there's people that are going to resent you even more. Especially like if you choose a certain diet or new eating style. I don't like to say diet, I like to say eating style. And then people feel like they can't cook for you, or that you're always like a buzzkill or a cockblock when it comes to going out to restaurants. Like, I don't want to have the carbs. I can't have that. And then menus take on a new meaning for you when you go out to eat. When you're losing weight, oh, I can't do that. I'm in the gym that day, or that hour, or that time of day. Or people are going to be your biggest buzz-killingtons. And you have to learn to deal with that. And this is where a lot of people start caving in, when other people start interfering in their to-do list. Remember, goals are now called a to-do list. And one of your biggest tasks is going to be to maintain frame on your to-do list for the day, for the hour. Do you have a to-do list before noon? This is how you get unstuck. This is how you get unstuck. You will stay stuck if you keep caving into the buzz-killingtons. I know I got a bunch of fat people watching this right now. I know that. I was a fat guy. I know, and I know how hard it is, man. I do. I do. I've given you some tips in the past in order for you to stay in to create optimal health and stay there. And it's time. I don't know. Something will flip a switch. There'll be just one more bean put on the scale, and that scale will go down, and it'll be enough information and data and proof. You know, the alcoholics talk about somebody reaching their bottom. Well, he hasn't reached his bottom yet. She hasn't reached her bottom. In other words, enough shit hasn't happened in your life in order for you to make that decision. The old folks used to say, when are you going to learn your lesson? They would ask that question. When is she ever going to learn? When is he ever going to learn? You might have even said that at some times, or people at some times in your life. And there might have been people who said that about you. One of the best ways to become the best version of yourself is to get yourself into physical shape, because many times the mental follows that. So let's do what's the easiest thing first in order to get unstuck. Let's do the first thing that's the easiest thing. Let's not pick some crazy goal that's unreachable. The reality is, in America, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. November's done. December's here. You think November went fast? Wait till next month. Whoosh. Gone. It'll be gone before you know it. And then 2019 will be here. And you're still stuck. Another year. Another year. Cheers to another year. 2019 is the year that you get unstuck. That's the year that I start my massive coaching program, where I break your balls for a year and get you where you need to be. Health-wise, fitness-wise, financially. I'm going very easy on you right now. I'm going very light on you right now. The only way that I got to where I'm at, because I had to break my own balls. And I needed that. I had to be harder on, people say, you're being very hard on yourself. Well, no shit. Change comes from being hard on yourself and putting yourself outside your comfort zone. Because change happens not in your bubble. Change happens outside your comfort zone. So the key is going to be search for the discomfort that comes with your to-do list and your goals. Not just make yourself uncomfortable like a monk, like the ascetics who would just whip themselves and sleep on rocks just because they thought discomfort was a way to get closer to God and deny the human body. I'm talking about uncomfortable things that are going to help you grow. And I'm not talking about gathering more material goods. I was out to dinner last night. Birthday dinner. I like going to Fleming's Steakhouse. I love their, when I go out, I like Fleming's Steakhouse. When I eat in, I like ButcherBox. That's my new thing. I can't wait to start doing some videos on ButcherBox. I'll put a link for that down below. As you know, my name is George. I'll put a link down below, Bruno. And there was a dude. I pulled up in the car. The valet came out, gave me a ticket, took my car. When I came back out, there was a white convertible Lamborghini parked in front. I said, nice car. Whose is it? He said, a 19-year-old kid. I said, that car belongs to a 19-year-old kid. He says, yeah. And I go, what's he do? He says, something on the internet. Made me laugh. I knew already he was a e-course maker. I knew already that he was an internet market already. And his friend parked behind him, or came behind him, in a Panamera. Hanging out. Two successful young guys hanging out at Fleming's Steakhouse, having their tomahawk steaks. I'm not talking about gathering stuff like that. Those are obvious status symbols. I've had status symbols, and I'm working hard to get rid of a lot of things. My favorite vehicle in the whole world, honestly, you're going to think this is crazy. My favorite vehicle is a 1960 Ford F-100 pickup truck. Light blue in color. Why? Why? Why would I go back all those years to get that vehicle? That's what I like. That's what my preference is. I'm the guy that likes some older things. I love the grill on the look it up, a 1960 Ford F-100. The grill on that is unbelievable. I wish I could be making, and it's hard to find a good one now. I don't want to do it. I want to buy something that's fully restored. I would love to be doing videos from a 1960 Ford F-100. Wouldn't that be fun? Or even from the bed of it.